I have been in a TYM T130 tractor, and I want to share with you my first impressions. Right now I am not sitting in the TYM T130, I'm sitting in a John Deere 5083E. I'll show you the tractor anyway, so I'll put it on the screen right here magically so you can see the tractor that I got to sit in. At first glance, it's just a good looking tractor. The tractor comes with a self-leveling loader. I'm gonna dive a little deeper into that later, so keep watching. I actually got to turn the tractor on and run the loader up and down and play around with it a little bit. I use the loader on this tractor a lot, the one that I'm sitting in, to move hay. That's like a constant year-round thing, plus hauling manure, sometimes dirt, and moving a lot of snow if we get a lot of snow. Some of the things that stuck out to me on the TYM T130 is I like that the 3-point hitch controls are on the outside of the tractor. This tractor that I'm sitting in does not have that. I wish it did. When I'm hooking up to implements, I wish that I had the ability to just run it up and down a little bit. It would speed up the process of hooking and unhooking. Not like it's the end of the world to have to come climb in. It's a little more difficult for me now because I am sitting here with a broken leg. I have figured out how to get in the tractor, but it's a little bit of a trick. The TYM T130 has an instructor's seat or a buddy seat, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, but it has one of those. I like that because most of the time as I farm, I need room for more people. To me, farming is a family thing, so my kids ride with me, my wife, my nephew, whoever you might have going with you. Anyway, it makes room for another person to sit there and for an adult to actually be able to sit there. It might not be the biggest seat ever, but it's a lot better than just trying to climb in and sit on the cup holders. The 3-point hitch controls actually are on the key fob as well on the T130. I'm not sure if I would use that as much as the buttons on the side of the tractor, but maybe I would. But I thought that was interesting as well. It does have a lot of electronic controls, push button start, all sorts of different controls that have to do with your 3-point hitch. It's got a nice screen built into it. It's got a rear view camera. It's got remote start. Anyway, so you tell me, with all the electronic stuff, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I know for me personally, if I'm working on something and it breaks down and it's an electronic thing, my skills are limited in diagnosing electronic stuff. It's got a lot of cool features because of all those electronics. I would say that weighs in on the positive side. There was a trick to start the tractor. So I climbed on it after we had done the remote start, and I got in, I sat down on the seat, and the tractor shut off. I could not figure out how to start the thing again, so I pushed the button to start it. Anyway, finally, so here's the trick to start it, and you might just think I'm weird, but you just have to push the clutch pedal. Simple, but it's something that on this tractor that I'm currently sitting on that I don't have to do. I'll just shut it off here, right here, with the tractor, as long as it's in neutral right here on the power reverser here, then right here I do not have to push the clutch to be able to fire it up. That's what I am accustomed to. When I was on the T130, I was not trying to stomp on the clutch to get it to start, so my bad, but there's a trick to start it. Just so you know, if you ever get on it, that's something that I learned. When I climbed into the cab and sat in it the first time, I like it. And I don't have a lot of experience sitting on brand new tractors above 100 horsepower of other brands, so they might all be awesome. I'm just giving you my impressions of the T130. I am 6 foot 1 inch tall. I felt very comfortable in that cab. It was extremely well positioned as far as the loader joystick and the armrests. So the feel of that was just very comfortable. It felt like if you were doing loader work, that tractor would be very comfortable to sit in for a long period of time. Like, it just felt good, the seat felt good, the controls just felt like really convenient to reach. It had all sorts of information that you could find on the monitor. Now to the loader controls. The controls on that self-leveling loader were very smooth and easy to operate. I really liked the feel of it. I have never used a self-leveling loader before in real life, as far as like moving bales of hay and things like that, except for a hydraulic self-leveling loader on some backhoes that I've used. And I do like the self-leveling feature. The hydraulic self-leveling feature though, sometimes I find that on the old backhoe especially, it'll kind of lift the bucket and then it'll just all of a sudden tilt forward. And with the mechanical self-leveling loader on the T130, there was none of that. It is very smooth, very smooth, and I like that feel. It just felt like if I had a bale on, or if I had a super full scoop of dirt, then it would be very easy to just move it really smooth up and down to where I needed to be to dump it or to set the bale off. That was really nice. And I recorded another clip talking about some of the issues that I experienced with the non-self-leveling loader that I think the self-leveling loader would totally fix. I'll share that clip, or those clips. I recorded a couple of different clips, so here you go. One of the things that I do the most with the tractor is moving bales of hay. As you can see on the front of the tractor right there. I'll lower it back down. Okay. Moved it so you can see it. Not that you couldn't see it anyway. As you lift, so you spear your bale and maybe tip your spears up a little bit so that your bale doesn't fall off. Then when you lift the loader, the bale, normally on this loader, what happens is my bale just keeps going up and up and up and up. So then if I have to lift it up higher to set it onto, on top of a stack or on another bale, then the bale now is up like that. So then I'm also trying to run the controls. So I'm using hydraulic flow to try to level it out too, which slows down the process. My forks are kind of pointed up right there. And then if I've got a bale on there and I'm trying to lift it but not tip it out, so if I'm trying to lift and keep it level, then it really is quite slow. I mean, it really slows down the rate at which it lifts. Anyway, and then the same thing there, if I combine two functions, then it really uses up the hydraulic flow and really slows things down. So that is one thing. With the self-leveling loader, you would just be using mainly one flow, because you'd just be lifting up and down and the forks would just stay steady. I think that right there would improve the efficiency of moving bales of hay and scoops of dirt and manure and whatever you might be moving. The thing that I love about that self-leveling that I think would be awesome for moving bales of hay is that then as you raise it, your bale still is in just that slightly tilted up position, so you don't have to waste a lot of time putting your bale back into a level position to stick it on a stack or on a trailer or whatever you're putting it onto. So I think that would be super nice. Okay, I don't remember if I said this in one of those other clips or not, so if I didn't, then here we go. One thing that is really cool on that T130 is that it has a shock absorbing mechanism on the front of the loader. It also had a third function built into it. I have not used a third function because I've never had a third function on any loader, but it would be very nice. There are plenty of times that it would have been nice to have a grapple, for example, when I'm moving big piles of limbs and things. That would be just extremely nice to have the third function already built into it, so that's already there. Another thing that I noticed on the T130, and I'll try to show you a little bit of what I'm talking about here, But the loader hydraulic hoses, they run inside of the loader arms at one point. So I'm not sure if this is a con or not. It might be actually a huge plus because the hoses, for the most part, would not be out in the sunshine being damaged by the sun. So maybe that's good. And maybe they hooked them up to some hard lines inside of there, so maybe it's not going to rub and end up springing a leak. For me, if I have a tractor for enough years, eventually you end up replacing hydraulic hoses because eventually they leak, and especially if they rub anything. And on a loader that moves up and down and all around, I mean, it just seems like eventually the hydraulic hoses do rub. On the tractor that I'm currently sitting on, let me show you how it's routed on this one, just to show you a little bit of a difference here. So on this tractor, so sorry you've seen it through the window, but I do have busted legs, so I'm not exactly super mobile, but you can see the hydraulic hoses hook to these hard lines that just are fastened to the inside of the loader arm there, but everything is pretty easy to access if something does leak. So I haven't had to replace anything on this tractor, but I do like that it is pretty easy to get to. But maybe it would be super nice to have those tucked away inside, because maybe that will protect them and keep you from springing leaks for a long time, maybe forever, I don't know. That'd be nice. Something to think about. That's just a little extra if you bought that tractor and you're going to hook it up to a baler or something. It does not have the little 3-prong plug that the baler would plug into. So I run a Vermeer 604M round baler. And anyway, I'll show you the plug in the tractor that I'm sitting in here. Okay, right there. That right there is the plug that provides power for the monitor on the Vermeer baler that I use. And anyway, and I think that's a pretty typical plug. Kind of surprised me that it did not have that, but it does apparently have some wiring that goes into the cab that you could wire a plug to. Might not be a big deal, but if you are going to be using an implement that has a monitor that needs to plug into a power source, then something to be aware of. Probably one of the biggest pros that I could mention is that the price by comparison is more affordable than the equivalent sized tractor of other brands. And I'm not sure if that's totally universal, but it does seem like it is priced significantly better. So you might have to look around and see if that holds true. From what it looks like, you get a lot of bang for your buck. Okay, so something that I got when I looked at the T130 is this cool little pamphlet that tells about it. So this is from TYM. This is their little booklet that tells all about it. So here you go, the T130, then it says 127 horsepower. And just, I mean, you look at that tractor, that is just a good looking tractor. I mean, maybe there are people out there who won't like it just because of the color, I don't know. But I do feel like, as far as the design goes, TYM did very good on that. That is just a good looking tractor. Some of the things, anyway, right here, it'll tell you a little bit about the engine. Anyway, so I'll try to go kind of slowly there, let you read that if you want to. You can pause that maybe, hopefully that's coming through clear. But there are your ground speeds. This tells a little bit about the gears and the axles here. And so this right here is a good feature, just to be able to shuttle forward and back. This tractor has it, use it all the time, love it. Okay, so there's what your cab looks like. Again, like, in my opinion, the controls were just very convenient, very comfortable as far as sitting in it, and just where my arm rested right onto the loader controls, it was super nice. So right there is kind of your view of that. Just, yeah, really super nice. It does have a sunroof. That is nice. If you lift things up very high, you can still see what's going on with your load. It does have heating and air conditioning. There's what your screen looks like, and there you can see a few of the things that you can see on your main screen. You might be able to change some of those things around on a touch screen monitor. I'm sure you have quite a bit that you can do, but that would be super nice. There's what your key fob looks like, and you've got the push button start. Thinking about the push button start, that reminds me of an issue that I encountered that I didn't expect. So when I went to turn off the T130, it didn't just shut off like I'm accustomed to. Like every tractor I've ever driven, when I'm ready to turn it off, I turn it off and the engine shuts off. And so I wasn't expecting that it would have a feature where it actually runs for a couple of minutes before it shuts down. Maybe some of you know what that does. Maybe that's an important feature. I'm sure they built it into it for a reason. It was just weird to me when I went to shut off the tractor and it just didn't shut off. I got out of the tractor and then eventually it shut off. I think it's supposed to run for like 2 minutes before it does that. But that was just something that I noticed that was just kind of a funny deal to me, because I just have never experienced that in any of my tractor driving, and I've driven a lot of different tractors. But anyway, maybe some of you have driven fancier tractors than me, and that's a normal thing. If you know more about that and why that is built in, please put it in the comments, because I would like to learn from those of you who know, and it might be helpful for other people who are watching this video as well. Here you've got the smart charger and insulated cup holder. It is cool to have a wireless charger because these days almost everybody has a cell phone. There's what the seat looks like, and honestly the seat was very comfortable, so no complaints. And this is cool, it swivels to rotate the seat partially so you can see behind you a little better. That I did not test, but I have seen that in some other tractors before, and I would love that feature. I wish I had that in here, because sometimes, especially when you're using an implement that you have to look at a lot, that would be really nice to be able to swivel that seat right there. That little feature right there would be super nice. It does have a reverse camera, and that would be super nice to be able to just see what is going on with your implement. So maybe you wouldn't have to swivel the seat because you have this reverse camera. Anyway, but both of those features would be super nice. Right here you've got some USB ports. There's the buddy seat, instructor seat. Here's a look at some of the controls. Just makes it really easy to operate everything within pretty close proximity there. Got the creeper gear lever right there. Got a parking brake, a heated rear window. So that's something I didn't actually notice before. That would be nice, especially in the winter time when it's trying to frost up. And then you've got differential lock, auto 4-wheel drive. So this is cool right here, that it's 4-wheel drive is automatically deactivated when the angle of one of the front wheels is over 20 degrees or the vehicle speed exceeds 10 miles per hour. So that's going to save you a lot of wear and tear on your 4-wheel drive components. Some of the additional operational features right here on this page, you can just pause it and read that if you want to read some more about it. It's got a reversible PTO shaft, so that you don't have to have multiple PTO shafts or adapters. I'm not sure how easy that is to reverse, but there you know that it has that. I loved that it had a lot of rear remotes already built in. On this tractor that I'm sitting on, I've got 2 rear remotes, and I use both of them all the time. A third one would be super nice, because it'd be nice to be able to add a hydraulic top link. The cool thing about the T130 is that it comes with a hydraulic top link already built in. So you actually have all three of these remotes available. There's your throttle. It's super convenient and easy to operate. And then right there you've got additional controls. Then you have some flow control for your remote valves so that you can change your hydraulic flow to your implement. Right here, some other features that I don't really know that much about, but we'll just kind of give you a little bit of a look at some of those things. Here's your 3-point hitch. I do love that it has the hydraulic top link. I love having adjustable arms here. It's got the hydraulic ram right there on the outside of the tractor where you can see it easily. I suppose you could replace that easily. That might be really nice. I'll let you read some of these things there. This is cool. On the outside of the tractor, you can control the top link and you can control your 3-point hitch lift up and down. And I love those features. I think every tractor should have those features. Here's a look at your self-leveling loader, and I loved the feel of the loader. Right there, you've got your third function. You've got skid steer, quick attach. You've got the joystick with a horn built into it, which actually the tractor I'm sitting on does not have a horn. Every once in a while that would be handy. There's the accumulator. Apparently it guarantees a smoother and more controlled operation of your loader. Here are some of your capacities. And then there's how long it takes for the boom to raise and lower and roll back and dump. Here are some additional capacities and reach. Then some of your technical specifications. There you go. I hope that was informative and helpful. I find tractors to be quite fascinating and interesting, and the T130 is no exception. I liked it. So my first impressions were that is a very well-made tractor, and it'll remain to be seen how durable they are in the field, how long-lasting the engines are, things like that. But it's a pretty brand new tractor, so those things we'll hear about more in the future, I suppose. But for now, just initial first impressions, it looks like a great option. So if you're in the market for a 100+ horsepower tractor, then I hope this was enough information to help you with your decision on whether or not you want to consider the TYM T130. Maybe someday I'll get a chance to actually go drive the T130. I hope so. And I want to just say a huge thank you to the folks at Hobby Tractors. Thanks to them, I was able to get on the T130. Cool experience. If you are in the Western United States, then Hobby Tractors might be worth looking up if you're interested in going to look at any TYM tractors. They are not sponsoring me. I'm not sponsored by anyone for this video. I just love tractors, and I just wanted to share my thoughts from my brief experience with the T130. As much as I want you to watch all of my videos over and over and over again, I hope that you'll experience some of the health benefits of getting out into nature and just see the world that God created and just enjoy it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your support and would really appreciate if you would subscribe, share my videos with your friends, and help my channel to grow. Thanks for watching. See you next time.